often find myself thinking about how I would ever live without technology. Now we live in digital era. How do we go from having nothing to having everything at the click of a button? I would like to know about where our society knowledge started and how it has evolved into the world we live in today. The first phase started all the way from the emergence of people and runs till the ancient Greek civilization period. This era is referred to as the oral culture. During this span of time, the only form of communication was done through speaking. Knowledge was passed down from generation to generation orally. To remember and maintain their knowledge and values, people used songs, poetry, and rhythms. There was no sense of privacy because everyone shares the same cultural values and experiences. With lack of individuality, there was little space for prosperity and intellectual thinking. The approximate duration of the scribal era was from early civilizations until the medieval period. The dominant change from the oral to the scribal era was the emergence of reading and writing. Writing freed people from depending on their memories for knowledge, and reading enabled a more extensive, specialized type of knowledge. For few people in this era, writing and reading was the common method of education. The more dominant form of educating the public was through art. Artworks such as paintings and statues displayed the important information and stories of the day and rules and regulations for the vast majority of the population that lacked literacy. Major distinctions between the literate and illiterate also emerged because now there was an academic and social gap. The printing era began as the replacement of precious handwritten texts. This printing was a lot easier and quicker. The impact was that information became widely accessible. Ideas were much easier to mass produce as books, pamphlets, or as flyers. Because more people had copies of books, which they can take with them and read, and learning, storytelling, and communicating messages become a private affair. It was even more possible for a person to know something others don't, and for some to be more learned than others. The electronic era allowed for instantaneous communication to anywhere on the planet. The messages through telegraphic and telephone communication, broadcast communications such as radio and television allowed us to go back to the verbal communication. Hello, I am Thomas. Okay, I will try my best. The radio and television programs offer us alternative formal or informal education for human beings. Use of these in learning is a powerful way. We can learn good manners, good morals through listening to radio and watching television programs such as good habits of accommodation, tolerance, and open-mindedness. Learning and cultures across oceans become more and more similar, so we call the global village. just dreaming. Beyond the electronic age, everything is connected in the digital era. Today's society, we stand using songs and poems as a method of memorization and learning. The oral society still passes down their knowledge. Also, we still use artwork from scribal era as a major source of information for the public. Overall, each phase is dependent on one another. Without the emergence of mouth-to-mouth communication in the oral era, reading and writing would not have developed in the scribal era. And without reading and writing, technology would not have been invented in the modern era, and so on. Through constant chain reaction, our society will continue to evolve and keep advancing. I want to know how happening and learning evolution in future. This you might want to know.